5 True Terrifying Basement Horror Stories. Fearful Ghost. Story 1. Who's behind the basement door? It was around 2 a.m. when Rahul went downstairs to grab a bottle of water. As he passed by the basement door, he froze. A soft shuffling sound was coming from inside. That was strange because the basement was locked. His heart started pounding, but curiosity got the better of him. Slowly, he bent down and peeked through the tiny gap under the door. At first, he saw nothing but darkness. Then, suddenly, a hand pale and bony shot out from the other side. Rahul screamed and ran back upstairs, locking his bedroom door behind him. The next morning, he mustered up the courage to check the basement with his father. When they unlocked the door and went inside, it was completely empty. There was no sign of anyone having been there. But deep in his mind, Rahul knew he had seen something. Or someone. Story 2. The Whispering Voices in the Basement. Sumit and his family had just moved into an old house in a quiet neighborhood. From the very first night, they heard strange noises coming from the basement, low whispers, as if two people were having a hushed conversation. At first, they thought it was just the house settling, but the noises continued every single night. One evening, Sumit and his friend decided to investigate. Armed with a flashlight, they tiptoed down the creaky stairs. The air grew colder as they reached the basement floor. Just as they were about to look around, the lights flickered, and a chilling voice echoed in the room, "Leave now." Terrified, they bolted upstairs. Later, they found out that 20 years ago, a family had died tragically in that very basement. No one had lived in the house for long since then. Story 3. The Laughing Child. Ria had just moved into a new apartment with her husband and their 1-year-old son, Aryan. A few nights after settling in, she started hearing something unsettling, a child's laughter coming from the basement below. Thinking it was a neighbor's kid, she ignored it at first. But one evening, as she was putting Aryan to sleep, she noticed something eerie. He was giggling and pointing towards the basement door. "Who are you laughing at, sweetheart?" she asked. Aryan smiled and whispered, "Baya." Ria's blood ran cold. They had no other children. And when she asked the neighbors, she discovered that years ago, a little boy had drowned in the basement during a flood. Since then, residents often reported hearing a child's laughter at night. Story 4. The Eyes in the Wall. Tanmay worked late nights at an office where the basement was used for storage. One evening, he went down to retrieve some old files when he suddenly had the unsettling feeling that someone was watching him. He turned around quickly. No one was there. Shrugging it off, he continued searching through the shelves. But then, he heard a soft, rasping breath. His heart raced as he slowly turned to face the far wall. That's when he saw them, two dark, bloodshot eyes peering at him from a crack in the wall. Paralyzed with fear, he could do nothing but stare. Then, in the blink of an eye, the eyes vanished. He ran upstairs and never returned to the basement alone again. Later, he learned that the building was once a hospital, and patients were rumored to have been buried within its walls. Story 5. The Mirror's Shadow. Trisha and her family moved into an old Victorian house that had been abandoned for decades. While cleaning the basement, she discovered a large, dusty mirror leaning against the wall. She wiped off the grime and took a look at herself, but something was wrong. Her reflection was delayed, moving a second after she did. She raised her hand, and the reflection followed, but a moment too late. Then, the reflection smirked, but she hadn't moved her lips. Terrified, she smashed the mirror and ran upstairs. That night, she heard strange noises coming from the basement, whispers and the faint sound of glass cracking. The next morning, when she checked, the broken mirror pieces were gone. In its place stood a perfectly restored mirror, just as she had found it the first time. Have you ever experienced something unexplainable? Do you believe in ghosts? Have you ever experienced anything paranormal? Let us know in the comments below. Fearful Ghost.